guys, welcome back to Your Mindset, Your Power. I only worked out for 20 minutes today. Think for a second, my friend, about how that sentence would make you feel. It almost sounds like an apology, doesn't it? Like I let myself down, right? Okay, now let's flip it. What if instead I say, I got to work out 20 minutes today, even though I was completely drained? Same 20 minutes, but entirely different story. Isn't it interesting how one tiny word can completely change the story we tell ourselves? That little word, only. And let me tell you, that little word is costing us a lot more than we realize, my friend. So today we're breaking a cycle. That habit of constantly minimizing our progress that slowly chips away our confidence and is quietly killing our potential. Because it is statistically impossible to build a positive life on a negative self talk. We will also talk about a method called Do Something Different, or DSD. We will look at why doing nothing often leaves us feeling even more stuck, how to build confidence through small bursts of action, and how to stop waiting for external rescue. So, if you have been feeling stuck, tired, or caught in an endless loop of negative overthinking, this episode is your exit ramp, my friend. So, let's get into it. I would like to start looking at the mechanism of our day for a minute because we spent a lot of time talking about how we start our mornings, right? But I think our evenings deserve as much attention because that's often where we quietly sabotage ourselves. At the end of the day, our brain has a funny habit. It loves to put together what I call a failure report. It starts replaying everything you didn't get done. The workout we skipped, the email we didn't send, the project we didn't finish, the phone call we never made. Sounds familiar? Yep, me too, my friend. But here's the problem. When we read that same failure report night after night, we slowly stop seeing our progress. We focus so much on what didn't happen that we completely overlook what did happen. And then we expect to wake up the next morning feeling motivated, confident, and energized. But it doesn't really work that way, my friend. So let me share a simple tool with you. Let's call it the 3 accomplishments. Tonight, I want you to try something different. In fact, this can be your first DSD. Do something different, right? Before your head hits the pillow, ban one little word from your vocabulary. That word, only. No more, I only folded one basket of laundry. No more, I only read one page of my book. No more, I only answered a few emails. Ban completely that word, my friend. Instead, ask yourself one simple question. What did I accomplish today? Not what you didn't finish, not what's still waiting for tomorrow, just what moved forward today, even 1%. Then write down exactly 3 objective facts. I got a load of laundry done. I prepared a healthy dinner. I completed a 20-minute workout. That's it. Nothing fancy, no judgment, just facts, my friend. Because let's be completely honest. If a close friend come to you and said, I managed to squeeze in a workout 3 times this week, even though my schedule was completely chaotic, would you say, wow, that's all you did? Of course not, right? You would probably say, that's awesome. Good for you. So here's my question. Why are we so willing to celebrate someone else's progress while minimizing our own? Maybe it's time we started speaking to ourselves with the same kindness we so naturally offer other people and the people you love, right? And let me tell you, I'm not saying this because I do it perfectly. No, not at all. It's really hard not to fall into this habit, right? Listen, I'm a mindset coach. I encourage my clients every day to speak to themselves with more kindness. And I have to keep reminding myself to do the same thing over and over again. Knowing better doesn't make us perfect. It simply helps us notice when we have fallen back into old habits. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I love having this conversation with you, my friend, because every week they remind me too. Now, let's talk about something I think we all have experienced. You know, those moments when we feel overwhelmed, burnt out, or simply stuck. Our natural instinct is often to stop. We park on the couch, pick up the phone, or turn the TV on and just tell ourselves, we'll start tomorrow. Now, don't get me wrong. Rest is important. Our bodies and minds needs it, right? But there is a big difference between resting and staying stuck, my friend. We humans have a tendency to swing between extremes. We overwork until we are exhausted, or we do so little that we slowly lose our momentum. And here's the hard truth. Doing nothing doesn't actually create energy. No, my friend, it slowly drains it. Think about riding a bicycle. When the bike is standing completely still, balancing is hard, right? You wobble, you struggle, and sometimes you even fall. But the moment you start pedaling, even slowly, the bike becomes more stable. Momentum does the heavy lifting. Life works in a very similar way. Sometimes we think we're waiting for motivation, but maybe what we're really missing is movement. One small action makes the next one just a little easier. So if you have been feeling stuck lately, my friend, don't ask yourself, how do I get motivated? No. Instead, ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today, right now? Send the text you've been too nervous to send. Ask for the raise you've been putting off. Set the boundary with someone you always say yes to. Go to the event alone instead of skipping it because no one could come with you. And here's something worth noticing. Once you take that small step, scared, uncomfortable, nervous, your brain realizes, I didn't die. So the anxiety drops and the next step suddenly reveals itself. Life is entirely non-linear, my friend. The path to your goal is going to look like a zigzag, not a straight line. Enjoy the process of figuring it out as you go. And here's what's really interesting. While you are creating momentum, you are also building confidence. We often think confidence is something we need before we do something brave. But it's actually the opposite, my friend. Confidence is built through competence. Every time you practice, every time you learn, every time you keep showing up, even if you have doubts, you are collecting evidence that says, maybe I can do this after all. And here's something I've noticed. If you are naturally a good writer, your brain may tell you, anybody could write that. But if technology isn't your strength, suddenly I'm terrible at this. Isn't that interesting? We minimize our strength while magnifying our weaknesses. So instead of ignoring what you can't do yet, use what you already do well as your starting point. Build momentum there. And then gently stretch it into things that feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding challenges, my friend. It grows when you take small steps into them. again and again. And I think there is one more piece to this puzzle. Psychologists talk about something called an internal and external locus of control. Don't worry about remembering the name. Just remember the idea. Let me explain. An external focus sounds like this. I'll start when I get promoted. I'll finally feel confident when someone believes in me. I'll be successful when I get my dream job. Which means you believe external forces dictate your circumstances. And often your focus is in what hasn't happened yet. And often you become a victim of your circumstances. Like, why is this happening to me? See it this way. You get stuck in traffic, you get angry and think, why does this always happen to me? That is your external perspective. But if instead you realize you can't magically move the cars, even if you're angry or frustrated, then you decide to put on a podcast or your favorite music and accept you will be a few minutes late. So you focus on what is within your control. This is your internal perspective. You focus in what you can do next. And coming back to DSD, do something different. This is a great framework and a powerful tool that helps us shift from the external focus into the internal focus. Do something different, my friend. It doesn't have to be something huge or perfect. Just one small action that breaks the pattern. One different perspective. One small action that reminds your brain, I can move forward. I can do something different. I can find a way even if it's uncomfortable. And that's your challenge this week, my friend. Choose one DSD every day. Don't wait for the perfect time. Just take one little action that moves the needle. Send the email you have been putting off right away. Sign up for that class now. Make that phone call now. Apply for that job you're nervous about today. Because every time you do something different, something you haven't done yet, you are reminding yourself that you're no longer waiting for life to change. You are becoming part of that change yourself. So, my friend, this week, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel confident. And stop letting one little word, that word only, take away the credit you deserve for showing up. Remember, real change doesn't happen because of one big moment. It happens because of the small choices we make every single day. One conversation, one workout, one phone call, one page, one DSD. Those small moments create momentum. Momentum builds confidence. And confidence slowly changes the way you see yourself. So this week, go do something different, something new, something uncomfortable. I'll be doing it right alongside you, my friend. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today. And listen, if this episode helped you, I would love if you share with someone who might need to hear it too. Until next week, my dear friend, take care of yourself. Keep moving forward. And remember, your mindset is not just what you think. It's where your power begins. I love you guys.